G'day and welcome back. The beer box of busted bodies proved me wrong. Turns out I've got half a van wall after all. So good thing I didn't chop these axles up. That's the bag of broken dreams. You never know what you'll find in the beer box of busted bodies. So I got a bit of a surprise and we'll go and have a look at what that surprise was. So it was two surprises really. The bottom half of a van wall and the bottom half of a green MMC 57 Aston Martin. So I've got more Aston Martin stuff than I realise. What I did know I had, and I went looking for, was this one. So this did have a windscreen, had a pair of numbers and one headlight. But I did find something else. Well, actually, really, it was a third surprise. This one. Now this looks pretty good now, but this was atrocious. It had water slide transfers or decals, 4 of them, the number 8 on a square white background. So there, and there. It had white paint. In fact, there's a little bit of white paint still visible there, so I have to get onto that. Had the sandpaper damage here. So what I did, I had a cunning plan and it actually worked. I grabbed this that I used for fixing up my headlights, and there's 2 pads. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, you run through the pads. I sanded it all down, lubricating with the spray lubricant that comes in it. Then finally used the cutting compound and a cloth, and I reckon I've rescued this. It's not too bad. And the reason I wanted to do that was because I noticed that it's for a car without lights. So 3 months ago I fixed up a car. So you can look, that's for the E2 with the lights. This is for one without lights. So that'll be going on that 20 car that I did up before and did a video of, because that has an E2 body, so that can go with this car, and the 12 can go with this one. And I've already made an axle for this E2 bottom, which will get this top. So that goes on there, and that'll go on there. Thankfully, the MMC 55 van wall axle being 6mm wider, the guy that did the modification had put collars in there, 3mm collars, which is what you need. They're not exactly the same because they're not as thick, as in the thickness, but they'll do the job. So that saved me a lot of work of having to cut down one of these, which there were 2 of that came off the axle, the MMC 54 axle that I chopped down to make this. So now I've got to do a rear axle. This is it. I've got to chop that down. So I need 2.5 millimeters off each end, because I cut 5 mil off of this one. So that's what's happening with the Aston Martins. We're getting there.